Neighbors, 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 what's happening? It's Mr. Al Pete, your favorite neighbor with the Neighbor's Way from the mighty MPN Network. So this episode right here had a really good conversation with my dear friend and partner, Miss Liz McCoy, Executive Director of James Weldon Johnson Park. And she's here to talk to us about the celebration, the 154th celebration of James Weldon Johnson's birthday. And they're going to have a 5K and a block party at the park in the central part of Jacksonville, Florida. All right. So we're going to talk about all the ideas around it, the people that's making this possible, including yourselves. And yeah, enjoy the episode of The Neighbor's Way to the top. All right, what's up? What's up? Good morning, good day, good afternoon, my people. It is Mr. Al Pete with the neighborhood from the mighty MPN Network. We are Duval Bike. You know, we say bike down here, but we say back for the world. So thank you for hitting play. And we have a good episode. I have a great friend / partner in these art and culture streets. This lady, this friend, does a lot of great work in the literal central part of Jacksonville, Florida, which I think is very great that there is a central part of Jacksonville or any city that I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of work with. James Weldon Johnson Park, all the way from Art Walk to hip hop festivals, and just a lot of other things that we've worked on together. And I'm truly honored to have Miss Liz McCoy, the Executive Director of James Weldon Johnson Park, with us today. Hello, friend.
Hello, my friend. I love you, Pete.
Listen, Liz, I love you as well. And some roses real quick. I am very thankful. We're doing this on a Thursday, so it's perfect time. And thankful Thursdays. But I am very thankful for everything that you contribute to the city, everything that you contribute to me personally, to the culture that I serve for sure. Like, all the things that you have done. I am very thankful for you, and I appreciate you. And you always got my support, and hence why we are sitting on this call right now.
Oh, you are the absolute best. I think you're the most talented gentleman here in Jacksonville. Like, if you're around, I will show up all the time. And I'm super excited to come join you at Blue on Fridays, because I know that's gearing up just tomorrow night. Yeah.
So starting a new evening there. It's been there for like 3 months, but we're kicking it up, and we're looking forward to having people there, including you. So yeah. So we had this interesting conversation before we hit record. We don't have to spill back into it because I know we're here for a particular thing, but I got a little bit of history of like you being like for real being in the arts. Do you mind sharing just a tad bit of that? And I know we talked about it off record, but I think it's important for, like it defines your role with James Weldon Johnson Park and the importance of the celebration of, 154 years.
Yes.
Lift Every Voice is Saying is 125 this year, correct?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about you in the arts a little bit. You don't have to tell everything, but just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I started out as an actress, musical theater actress, and I had my first professional role when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I performed in a show it was a Christmas Carol, right? And we traveled all around North Carolina performing a Christmas Carol. And I got, it was my very first paycheck for any job. Like, I guess thankfully I never had to really, sell newspapers or throw newspapers or anything. I did work in a lot of restaurants because as an actor, you're always working in restaurants.
Right.
But yeah, I started working as an actress when I was 14. I went to college at Florida State. Go Noles. And, but straight from college, I went back out on the road and started performing again in many musicals and that toured all throughout the United States and also in Europe. And I performed at what is now the Jacksonville Performing Arts Center. Mm-hmm. But at the time, it was the Jacksonville Civic Auditorium. Mm-hmm. And I love Jacksonville. And I remember I was working in New York. I've been on many, many different aspects of the arts and mostly in theater. And I was producing and managing and marketing tours that toured all throughout the United States. And I got to a certain age, and in New York City, I spent every single penny on rent, as one does. And at a certain point, I'm like, something's got to give, like I got to get out of here. I got to like make something of myself and like think about my retirement. And I thought, okay, where do I want to do that? Because New York City is just too expensive. And I saw Jacksonville as a great opportunity. We've got all of the elements here. And what I really wanted to do is utilize the arts and culture to help downtown thrive. And I know it can happen. Arts as an economic engine is really a viable way to make downtown thrive. Mm-hmm. And so that's what led me to James Weldon Johnson Park, because we have live music in the park Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We do all these festivals. You've, of course, DJ'd. You've helped curate the hip hop festival. Mm-hmm. And of course, you help market our events. You're just, a huge supporter, and I love you so much. But yeah, it's what we're doing here is we're literally bringing the arts and culture scene to the streets, into the heart of Jacksonville. Yeah. It's like you were talking about the center. We call ourselves the heart of Jacksonville for two different reasons. One, because we are right here in the center of the city, but also this land was originally owned by Isaiah Hart. And Isaiah Hart's, when he passed away, his heirs sold this land to the city for $10 whole. Wow. And that's when it became City Park at first. And the St. James Hotel was built right in front of it. And so St. James, then became St. James Park. And then, of course, it was Hemming Park. And we'll just skim right over that to when in 2020, it was named James Weldon Johnson Park. So.
Nice. Which brings us here to the 5K, the birthday 5K, which is the first of course, many to come.
Hopefully.
So I look at this as, I remember one event I DJ'd. It was a cleaning. We cleaned the park, right?
Yeah.
So I look at this. Year. What was it again?
It was last year about this time, because we were still honoring James Weldon Johnson's birthday. Yeah. And his actual birthday is June 17th.
Right. So, yeah, I remember doing that. So I look at, when I was reading the information about the birthday 5K and the block party, it gave me that feeling like, it was like, okay, this is screaming community. Like, this is very, community, and people can come and just participate. And I think it's great that it's a 5K run. So I think about, being active, because people are going to be running. I think about the historical aspect of it, because the trail that is going to happen, you're going to find information about James Weldon Johnson, Lavilla, the neighborhood, etc. So you want to talk about that a little bit, the intentionality behind that?
Absolutely. So, of course, James Weldon Johnson and his brother, John Rosamond, they grew up about 10 blocks away from us. And so as this route was being created, one of the things that we wanted to do is have the runners. Now, you can also walk. If you're not a runner, you can walk it, right? But you can walk literally through James Weldon Johnson's history. So his father, we're going to run right past City Hall. City Hall used to be, as I said, St. James Hotel. James Weldon Johnson's father was the head waiter at the St. James Hotel. And so you're going to run past there. Yeah. And then you're going to run up towards Ashley Street. You're going to run past Clara White Mission, which, of course, Eartha M.M. White and James Weldon Johnson were contemporaries. Right around there, there's also, you're going to run past historic Stanton. So, and of course, Stanton is where James Weldon Johnson was the principal, and he wrote the poem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and it was first performed by 500 school children at Stanton. Now, unfortunately, that original site was burned in the fire of 1901. But so historic Stanton as it exists today is not the same building, but it is still the spirit. And it is the school that James Weldon Johnson started, right? So then you're going to run past Lavilla and through all of the area that was pumping, popping, jumping when James Weldon Johnson was a young man. That was where all of the nightlife had happened. And his birthplace is now where Lift Every Voice and Sing Park is. And so you're going to run past his birthplace area, and then you're going to come back through and spend a block party with DJ NICKFRESH. We're going to have champagne. We're going to have birthday cake. We're going to have a full bar. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have a way to just celebrate the man because he deserves celebrating.
Definitely. He's been, and not saying that he gets his fair share of celebrations here in Jacksonville for sure, but I just feel like it's a little bit amped up this go round. Not sure why or whatever, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the block party aspect of it. Again, community. I mean, the 5K action. I think that's people being active as well as learning the history part. So I love every bit of it. Just the history part of it. And real quick, this happens June 14th. Everybody gears up at 5:30, correct, to start the run?
5:30. Yes, there's a 5:30 1 mile fun run, and then the 5K happens right at 6 o'clock. So you can't be late, or you won't win.
Okay.
Who cares about a winning, right? You know,
I'm about to say, I think it's just a good sport of just doing it. So, but you do have a first place sport, so that might be a little bit competitive. They might have a competitive action to it. So,
yes.
And it makes sense to have a one place sports involved, correct? You want to talk about how they became involved?
Absolutely. So, you know, they've been one of our partners here at the park for a long time. They do Run for the Pies and Tour de Pain, which is like, I guess they do like a 5K and a 10K, and it's just, you know, like one right after the other. So it's, but they do that here in the park. And so they're really, really good partners. They do a lot of runs all throughout the city. The run timing, you know, like timing a run and, you know, putting up all of the, you know, water stations and all of that logistic help. That's what they're doing for us, which we absolutely adore because they're really great people to work with. And of course, they're pros. They do this 2-3 times a week, you know, and they do, of course, the Gate River Run. They do everything. So we know that we're going to just be in good hands with them organizing the race part. We're organizing the party because that's what I know how to do. Just party.
I gotcha. And our other sponsor is the beloved Vistar Credit Union.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're I love their activity in the community as well. I love everything that they do. So shouts out to them.
Absolutely. You know, they are really, you know, focused in on downtown, not just our downtown, but they're also throughout the, you know, Southeast now. So they're really community based. They're very, very good partners. Hands-on when we would like for them to be, but yet, they're also like, well, you do you, which is also nice. Right. But they're so supportive and so wonderful. And we really, really appreciate them. A big shout out to Veronica Session Fennell, who is also my board member. And it was actually her idea to have this 5K, and she's running in it. Okay. So she's going to be on the route. I am going to be on the champagne line.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask you. I was like, Liz, are you going to have some running shoes on? And I know you usually have on when the activity is going on at James Weldon Johnson Park. You have your shoes on. You're moving around. But I was wondering, I was like, is Liz going to be doing walking or running it?
No. Maybe next year.
Okay.
I probably need to run it, but I need to train a little bit. I color this stuff up here, so you can't really try. Hopefully you can't see how many years I have on my face. But yeah, it takes me a while to run. Takes me a very long while to get up the gumption to run, even.
I gotcha. Understood. So a couple more questions and then we'll let you go. But again, my people, we're tuned in. We're interviewing Liz McCoy, Executive Director of the James Weldon Johnson Park. This is the Neighbor's Way. Mr. Al Pete, MPN, all the great things. So proceeds from this event will go to the Friends of James Weldon Johnson Park.
Correct.
And that is a nonprofit that basically is it solely for keeping up the park and making sure the maintenance of it is great? Like, is that the main focus of it?
We create events like the hip hop event.
Okay.
And we create, of course, Art in the Park that happens every March. And all of those events take money, right? Right. We want to make sure that we're paying all of the artists that come and perform or present their visual art or perform their music or their hip hop or dance or whatever. We'd like to pay people when they come through because, of course, artists need that support. Mm-hmm. So, and we would like to make sure that they get that support. So every event that we do, we maintain that we pay our performers. And so this money that we raise for this 5K will go directly to the events that we produce here in James Weldon Johnson Park that everybody can enjoy because they are always free.
Oh yeah, definitely. Every event that happens there. I mean, even going through lunch, man, there's just so much going on at James Weldon Johnson Park, folks. They have food trucks, they have music. It's just very beautiful atmosphere down there. So if you haven't been out there during lunch, or even at an event, I recommend you going. But I definitely recommend y'all going June 14th to check out the block party as well as the birthday 5K. Get your running shoes on. And if you want to participate, head over to jameswelldonjohnsonpark.org. And then is it /JWJB Day 5K, correct?
That is exactly right. Or you can just look at our calendar and go through that. So we've got a calendar of events. Check out the 5K. Check out everything that we do.
Indeed. All right. Is there anything else you would like to plug for us before we let you get back to the world of managing a park, which I'm sure that's a task within itself?
Well, I would just like to say once again how much I love you, and also that we have a ton of things to do, like you said, and we do. So even though we are a public park, we are managed. It's a nonprofit management style, so that everything that we do has to be fundraised. Mm-hmm. So none of the things that you see within the park, for instance, the live musicians on the stage at lunchtime, the city doesn't give us that money. The city gives us some money to make sure that the park stays manicured and looking good, but the city does not give us that money to pay for those artists. So just wanted to say that that's the reasoning behind all of this. So yeah. And come out, and even if you don't have any money to give, just come out and enjoy it, because the community coming together is really why we're all here.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah, just to celebrate the rich history of it. And we've talked about this multiple times, inside and outside of James Weldon Johnson. We talked about like just the rich history of the arts and the culture and all the things here in Jacksonville. So, you know, I might be biased by saying that, but I feel like James Weldon Johnson Park definitely does a great job acknowledging the arts and the culture here. And so I fully support everything that, you know, that's going on with the park, for sure.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Love you.
All right.
Yeah.
Love you too. And I one more question. This is a fun question. I was thinking, I was like, should I ask Liz a fun question? Why not? All right. So
yes.
Shout out to Pod Decks. I always have my cards on deck. Just random questions. Since we're talking about, well, since you shared with me about, you know, the work that you've done, being an artist, actress, etc., what is the most embarrassing music that you like to listen to?
Ooh. The most.
I've seen you jam out to fairly everything. Yeah, I wouldn't say everything, but it's been, I mean, we've been in the park multiple times and it's been random music. So I've seen you jam out to all kind of things, but I'm interested to know what's the embarrassing one.
I do love all kind of music, but I will say that probably one of the strangest, like I really love music from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And the cheesier, the better. Like I'm talking Olivia Newton-John and Barbra Streisand, and even like some of that yacht rock that is, you know, kind of just like, you know, like that super soft, like bubblegummy kind of like soft rock. I could jam out to that for sure. But like, you know, Olivia Newton-John was my jam back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. And I still love her. I still love and you know what? The other thing too is, you know, musicals. I am, you know, the Tony Awards are this Sunday, and I am going to be crying my eyes out throughout the whole thing because it just gets me all in my feelings. So yeah.
That's some good. Well, I wouldn't say that was embarrassing, but I guess the crying part would probably be the embarrassing part of it. But I don't know. That yacht rock music is some great music. I don't care what nobody say. I jam to some yacht rock. Barbra Streisand. Yeah, I love that type of music. So yeah.
Okay, but is there any embarrassing music? Is there
for me or just in general?
Just in general, like what music is embarrassing? To me, all music is amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But
maybe, yeah. I mean, for me, there's. I mean,
polka. But even if you're like, if you're in a German restaurant eating some pretzels and Wurst and with a beer in your hand, polka music is pretty good. It's pretty fun.
And I know coming from me, you know, me being a musician, you know, obviously it would be very weird for me to say, oh, what's embarrassing? Because I love it all. So
me too.
I don't know. Yeah. Different aspects of it. So anyway. Cool. Well, listen, I appreciate you, Ms. Liz. I love you as well. Thank you so much for everything. Do you want to leave some last words where they can follow you, or, you know, all the things?
Yes. Follow us at James Weldon Johnson Park. You can find that on IG, on Facebook, obviously. Look us up on our website. We're going to be launching a new website very, very soon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's going to be exciting. Yes. More functionality and more ways that you can kind of find out what we're doing. So that'll be really good. So check that out in probably middle of next month. So we'll have a brand new website.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, hold off. Don't hang up yet. I got to close it out. Okay. To my people, thank y'all so much for listening. This is Mr. Al Pete, The Neighbor's Way. Please make sure that you go down June 14th. Well, first off, go to the website, jamesweldonjohnsonpark.org, and just get more information on the 5K birthday and the block party. Get more information on that. If you would like to participate in the run, please make sure you register for that. If you would like to donate to the cause, please make sure you donate. But all that stuff is on the website. So please go and do that. And let's celebrate the history of James Weldon Johnson and the park and everything around it. So please make sure you share that with your folks. But this will be happening June 14th. Everything starts at 5:30 p.m. You said the donation part starts at 5:30, right?
That's the 1 mile fun run. So if you only just want to do, one little mile and, do it as a warm up, or just if that's all you think you can do, like, somebody like me, then come out for that and then stay for the party. Yeah.
Gotcha. So all the information is on the website. Please make sure you check that out. But again, June 14th, we hope to see, I won't be there, unfortunately, but I will. I know it's going to be a great time. I'm going to see pictures. I know Nick Fresh is going to give me a report saying he rocked out, because Nick Fresh is a great DJ. So just please go and support. And any other questions you got, please make sure you hit jamesweldonjohnsonpark.org. All right. Until next time, The Neighbor's Way, Mr. Al Pete, in the old words of Wayne Peterson, which is myself, to the top.
To the top.